Now we are going to discuss about the second evolutionary model, that is a spiral process model. What is spiral process model? What are the advantages of spiral process model and disadvantages? Okay, when we are going to use this kind of process model. So these are the topics which we are discussed into this spiral model. Clear? Coming to the here, actually spiral model is also a one of the SDLC model. What it is? It is one of the software development life cycle models. So it will execute the okay, it will execute the framework activities in the form of spiral structure. So already we have some framework activities. By using that framework activities itself, okay, by using those framework activities, we are executing a project, or we are following how to, I mean, we are following one approach. Okay, so those framework activities execution in the form of spiral structure. Spiral structure in the sense, here it is a structure, it is wounded round around round like that. Clear? Coming to this, the spiral model has four phases. How many phases it has? Four phases. What are those? Planning, risk analysis, engineering, and evaluation. So these are the four phases of a spiral model. As it is, till now we have discussed about five phases in framework. But here we are going to discuss about only four. Why? Because first phase, whatever it is, what it is, communication. Communication phase is included into a planning. Okay, that's why that five steps are changed into four steps. And a software project repeatedly passes through these phases in iterations called spirals in the model. What it is called? Spirals in the model. So whatever the phases we have into this project, into this model, so those phases are executed repeatedly. So repeated execution of a phases is called a iterations. If one phase is executed repeatedly, that we may call iterations, number of iterations. So that iterations can be okay placed or can be represented in the form of spiral structure, the form of spiral model or spiral structure. Clear? Coming to next point, spider model is the combination of both sequential model and a prototype model. What it is? It is a combination of both sequential model and also a prototype model. What the sequential model has? In the sequential model, we have executed the framework activities one after another, one after another, isn't it? So what are the examples for sequential models? One is waterfall model, another one is V model. If we'll take a waterfall model, in that waterfall model, the framework activities will be executed sequence step by step in downwards from activity 1 to activity 5. So that is the one of the sequential model. And here Prototype model. What is prototype model? In the prototype model, the activities will be executed more than one time. Not activities or phases will be executed more than one time. So that is called a prototype model. This spiral model is a combination of both the sequential and prototype. Clear? Coming to the next point, a spiral model specially designed for projects huge in size, which are huge in size and requires regular enhancement, which means this model is designed or suitable for the projects of big projects. Huge in size means those are the big projects in nature. So for such kinds of projects, we are such kind of projects are developed by using this spider model approach. And also it requires, okay, regular enhancement, which means which projects needs, okay, regular monitoring or good quality. So for such kinds of projects, we are suggesting this kind of approach, this kind of approach. Clear? Coming to next point, sixth point, the spider model is somewhat similar to incremental model, but more emphasis on risk analysis, engineering, and evaluation. And it is also little bit similar to incremental model. Okay. So incremental model and prototype model both will follow some. I mean, what? Sorry. Incremental model is a second kind of a model. It has the features of sequential model. It has the features of incremental model, and it has the features of evaluationary model, which are means prototype model. The spider model is a combination of almost almost three models, three process models. One is waterfall, one is incremental, another one is prototype models. So in incremental model also, we have executed the activities in a linear model, which means sequential model for one module. And if you will move into the second module, again we will start the execution from phase 1 to phase 5. And for module 3, we have started from phase 1 to phase 5. So also like that, each and every time this in this incremental model also, the phases will be executed repeatedly. The phases will be executed repeatedly. Okay, as well as in sequential fashion. In sequential fashion. So that's why it is little bit similar to the, almost similar to the incremental model. Clear? So to understand better, have a look the sequential diagram. Now we are going to see the diagram of a sequential process model. Clear about these steps? Okay. Let's see the diagram of a spiral model. So how many phases we have in this spiral model? Four phases. First one is planning phases. So look this total, this is a planning phase. And coming to what is the second phase? Second phase is risk analysis phase. Third phase is engineering phase. And coming to the fourth phase is evaluation phase. This is the fourth phase. This is evaluation phase. So this spiral diagram has four phases. And according to the what textbook or some designs, in the spiral model you may have five phases also. Means communication phase is also included into this model. So like that. So this is about our diagram. Here the planning in the sense, so what are the requirements gathered from a, I mean, what are the concept which you have received from a customer. Based on that concept, okay, here we are going to gather the requirements. What we are going to do here, we are going to gather the requirements to plan the work, I mean, to plan the work whatever we have, isn't it clear? So all the things which are supported to develop such project, okay, so all these we should collect, and we need to get ready a schedule and a budget. Okay, so everything should be planned at this stage itself. In this planning phase, we are going to gather the things whatever we need to develop that project. Okay, and also how many I mean how many members are needed to develop this project, and also what is the budget to complete this project we need, and how many number of days it will take to complete this one. So like that, everything should be planned at this planning phase itself. Clear? So coming to the second phase is risk analysis phase. So after get readying everything, time, schedules, team members, everything. So what are the risks which we are faced while developing this particular project? Okay. Is there any risks occur while developing some projects? I mean, some what modules are somewhere else of that particular project. Okay, how do we prevent those how do we some take some precautions to avoid to overcome such kinds of risks, developing risks? So that is called a risk analysis phase. So this phase is purely talk about what are the problems will occur in future while developing, okay, one part of a particular project, and which one is complicated one. If we want to resolve that complicated things, what should we do? Okay, like that we will think about completely risk. Okay, risky factors and managing that factors. Next, coming to the third phase, that is engineering phase. What is the third phase we have here? Engineering phase. In this engineering phase, okay, again, which means engineering in the sense construction phase. We may call it as construction and testing. Construction means after designing everything, we are going to start coding of that project, practical implementation of that project. After developing coding, so then we are going to test each and every module of that particular project. So each and everything whichever those are worked based on the business goals or based on the requirements of a customer. Okay, so whether it will reach his goal or not. So like that we should perform testing on developed project. Clear? After developing, after completion of testing itself, Now again we are going to perform a evaluation, which means we are handovering that project to a customer. Then the customer is again he should evaluate this project. Evaluation in the sense studying or analyzing. Okay, in front of the customer also, once we need to show that project detailedly and asked for whether it is are you satisfied with this project or not. Okay, is this project fulfilled your goals or your dreams or not, like that. Okay, so we'll ask the customer. If he said okay, then we will hand over that project to the customer. In future, later, is there any maintenance is required that project, then okay, we will address, will we will tell him, will address your risks, whatever you faced in this project, like that. Or otherwise we'll what to visit your project every 6 months or every 1 year, like that. So that there is an agreement between them. Clear? So this is about 4 phases of a spiral model. So why we are calling it as spiral model? First of all, see, the activities will be done like a spiral, which means for doing one task, another task, second task, third task, fourth task, here we are performing so spiral activities, which means first, if you want to develop, for assume, if you want to develop one module one, so already we are discussed about the modules. What is a module? It is a part of a overall project, isn't it? The overall project can be divided into the number of modules. Okay, so those modules will be developed by different teams, individual teams, or sometimes it may be a same team. But first of all, they'll split the overall work into a number of parts. Okay, in real time you are also, okay, you are splitting your work. If you have exam, okay, if you have external exams, then you should plan how to read the one subject. Okay, you are planned for, okay, first unit is today I will study from this time to this time, first unit. After that I'm going to study second or third unit, like that. You should plan and you should split your total subject into a, okay, number of modules. If somewhere you will face difficulty in some unit, then you will ask your friend. Okay, you will take the help of your friend or otherwise your faculty member. So your schedule is changed based on them. Okay, if they are available in so and so time, means automatically you will shift that unit to according to their timing, and at that place you will study some other unit. Okay, so that is the planning of studying or preparing for one subject. For preparing one subject, you are going to split your syllabus into number of units. Okay, so that is called partitioning. Is clear? That is called, it's a little bit of parts of your total subject, or those are called, coming to a software engineering, those are called modules. To complete one task, okay, you should split the task into a number of parts. Each part is called a module. Okay, here also, if you want to execute one module, okay, if you want to execute module 1, then where you have started for that module 1, okay, at this place first module 1 is, okay, planned. Later, so for identifying the risks of that project, first is planning in the sense, this module take how many number of days to complete, how many members need to work out on this, and also how much amount is needed, this one, like that, what are the requirements to develop that particular module 1. So like that, everything is you have planned in phase 1. Coming to phase 2, is there any problems will occur in that particular module or not? You are okay, identifying the risks in second phase. Coming to third phase, okay, you are going to put that your project into a implementation matter, which means you are testing, you are developing a code, then test that one. So that is third one. And coming to the fourth one, after completion of testing everything, so you are going to ask your, okay, who is that customer, okay, whether this project is working according to your, okay, requirement or not, asking and taking the feedback from the customer. This is till now we have completed phase 1, or sorry, we have completed module 1. One task has finished here. And coming to the second module, again you will start from where you are going to start your second module, this phase, again from planning phase. So second module is started from planning phase, and it will cross the risk analysis, then, okay, engineering, later your evaluation, again you are going to ask, and it will be ended at this phase. So like that each and everything is, okay, planned, okay, in this manner. So automatically the structure will built, spiral structure will be built into this process. So that's why this model is called a spiral model. That's because this model is called spiral model. Okay, here you are going to split your total project into a number of modules. Each module will be executed into, okay, one phase, I mean one completion of one spiral, and second module second spiral, third module third spiral. So like the number of okay, if you have a number of these spirals, so here you have only 3 spirals, in the sense only 3 modules you have in your project. 4 spirals in the sense 4 module. Like that you may assume your project execution. Assume your project execution. So this is about the spiral model diagram. Clear? Coming to next slide. In this slide, we are going to discuss about when to use spiral model. When to use spiral model. Okay. Coming to first point, when costs and risk evaluation is important. When costs and risk evaluation is important. Okay, here we are providing risk, and we are giving the importance on that project more on risk. So analyzing the risks, where we get risks and how to handle that risks in that particular project, isn't it? So that's why where we need more risk evaluation, where we need more risk analysis. Okay, so in such kind of projects we need this spiral model technique. And also cost evaluation is also performed here. Cost evaluation also performed here. Cost in the sense budget. Clear? Coming to second point, the second point is about for medium to high risk projects, which means already you have developed one project, okay, with some medium modules, or with some already is that project is developed somewhat. If you want to, okay, if you want to update that project to high qualitative high risk project in the sense, then we are going to use this spiral one, isn't it? Already you have one phone with some features, with some features. If you want to, okay, improve those features more and more by taking somewhat risks, also you are get ready to develop such kind of project, okay, project, then you should choose this approach. Clear? Next, coming to the third point. Third point is sense long-term project commitment unwise because of potential changes to economic priorities. So some long-term projects, whatever is committed. So if now I asked to develop one project. Now I have given order one project development. If that is, if I want that project for 50 years or 100 years, okay, I need that project uses long term, long term. For such kinds of project, if one thing is developed now, okay, it's not may fit after 100 years or after 50 years into real world. Why? Because day to day the world is having drastical changes in all the things, goods, gadgets, something, fashion, whatever it may be. Okay, if you'll design something today, the design may be okay oldest fashion after 10 days, after 20 days, or after at least after 1 year. Okay, again nobody is don't not going for such kind of models again. Okay, if that project is still in be the still it will be in the market means, so that project needs some updations, something, some updations. 1 year some few updations, second year more updations, third year more updations. Like this we need to update our project into year by year. Okay, that is called long term project commitments. Long term project commitments to to perform some changes, to attract the people, to attract the people. So which means that is also related to second point, which means it is medium to high every year. If we are updating that one to next version, in the sense what it means, we are from medium to high, we are going every day every year. So for such kinds of projects, upgradation projects, we need to we should go for a spiral model. Next, coming to next point, users are unsure their needs. Exactly, sometimes they don't know about the needs. Then this project may help to, okay, uh, develop for such kind of users. And requirements are complex, which means big requirements are there, big kind of okay, I want this, that, this, all the things whatever is available in market, I want to see in at one place. So like that some requirements are increased by a customer. So at that time we should go for this kind of model. And a new product line, which means product line in the sense, if prototype. So whatever the prototype, prototype in the sense creation of new thing, no? So for such kinds of projects we are going for prototype model. So here also not a complete project, if we want to create something new into that existing project also, for such kind of things we are using this project. So prototype model in the sense total everything is new, but here half of new or some part of that project is new. So that is called, that is a spiral model. Next one is significant changes are expected. So every time, last one is every time if we'll go for a research and exploration, I mean changes we are doing on that particular what app. This year if we modified something, next year, like that we are working on that particular app. So such kinds of projects should select a spiral model. Clear? And coming to the next slide, advantages of spiral model. So what are the advantages you have into in this spider model is, first one is high amount of risk analysis. First one is high amount of risk analysis. Which projects have okay risk in that particular while developing of that project? So such projects okay can be analyzed more and more. At such kind of projects for projects we are using this spiral model. Next one is good for large and mission critical projects. Okay, it's impossible to develop, so such kind of projects mission critical. Okay, for such kind of projects also we are going to use this one. And strong approval and documentation control. So which projects have you must and should develop this one, which means strong approval. Okay, we got some approval from somebody for developing that project. Okay, so for such kind of things also we are going to use this one. Next, additional functionality can be added later at a time. If you want to any upgradations in the your project after developing your project, next year, after that year, third year, fourth year, final year, you need some updations on your project also. If it is a used project, then also some need updations also. This is allow some such kind of upgradations on that project. So for that projects also it will suitable. And project estimate okay will tend to become more realistic as it progress. So whatever we estimated okay things to develop, so those will be a realistic in progress, it will show some okay results. Some projects we thought that it won't complete, it won't clear okay with this time or with this features or something. So such kind of projects, challenging projects also will develop by using spiral model itself. Okay, this these are the advantages of your spiral model. Coming to next slide, disadvantages of spiral model. In these disadvantages, so first one is it can be a costly model to use. Sometimes it's a what it is actually, it's a challenging project, isn't it? Challenging project. Some challenging projects maybe take more time and also more budget too. So that's why it is little costliest. Sometimes, not all time, but sometimes. And risk analysis, whatever the here we are going for this project more to analyze the risk whatever the project has. Okay, so this risk analysis projects may be okay need much amount of time and more experienced persons. It needs to identify a risk in that project, so we should call some expertise on that particular concepts or somewhere else. So that is also one of the, if that kind of persons are available in market, then okay we'll go, otherwise what should we do? Okay, so that is the one of the drawback. And coming to the disadvantage, coming to the third one, project success is highly dependent on risk analysis phase. So if the project is successed, which means the risks are analyzed or risks are rectified a lot, risks are avoided a lot, how many number of risks are reduced, okay, then that much of success you will get into this kind of projects. That is about fourth disadvantage. Okay, it doesn't work well for smaller projects, it's not suit for a smaller project. Okay, this is about spiral model. So what is a spiral model? Spiral model in the sense the activities can be executed okay in a linear fashion. Module like first module, second module, third module, and those are formed like a spiral structure. That's why this structure is called a spiral process model. And it is suitable for big projects and it is not suitable for small projects. In this project there is a lot of risks are there. Okay, this project mainly focuses on risk analysis. Okay, if we will cross more number of risks, then that much of success we can achieve. Okay, when success will come, if we will cross multiple number of risks in our journey. then we will reach the success with satisfaction, isn't it? So this is about to